All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our November session of Meet the Lenders. This is a great opportunity to connect with small business resources, and the primary objective today is to build that connection with lenders that are servicing the small business sector and understand some of the additional resources that are provided there. I'm Sean Lynham. I'm with the Small Business Development Center, and I'm a business advisor that really focuses on access to capital and finance. So again, welcome everybody. Thank you for making the time to join us today. We've got a action-packed agenda that really is going to be focused on creating that connection with capital. And so to give you a overview of what we're going to accomplish over the next hour is going to start off with a little bit of an overview of what the Small Business Development Center does, some of the resources that we provide to the small business sector, and how you can get connected with SBDC if you're not connected already. And then Lucy Montgomery from the SBA office is going to give us an overview of the Small Business Administration, what resources they provide, give you a little bit better understanding and a connection into some of those resources as well. Then we'll get into the Meet the Lender portion of the session. And what we're going to have today is a lender panel with some impressive lenders that are going to provide an overview of what are some of the lending options that are happening today, and lending options that their particular organization provides. What are some of the application processes and nuances on potentially accessing capital with those, and then some of the best tips, and then lastly, some of the success stories that they've had in supporting the small business sector locally. So to get started, hopefully you are connected with SBDC, and I wanted to really provide a little bit more insight into some of the resources that we provide so that you can really make full use of all the resources that we have. So Small Business Development Center really provides 4 different areas within training, advising, networking, and connecting. And there's a lot of activity that is happening in all of these areas. I think over the last week, we've had over 18 training and networking events that have connected over 350 small businesses just over the last week. We also provide on a daily basis, and in fact, as soon as I finish this, I'll be meeting with individual clients on a one-on-one basis on advising. We have over 100 industry advisors that help in any particular area of business. We really focus on a full range of advising services, and then lastly, what we really position ourselves as a conduit for small business to get access to various resources. Specifically today, it's focused on capital. But that's a common theme in all the services that we provide, is really providing that connection with resources that can support your small business to start, grow, and prosper. So looking at some of the numbers that the Small Business Development Center has been connected to, we have a strong focus on the money aspect of small business. Most of us are in small business to make money and access money. And just to highlight some of the metrics there, that since 2016 to 2023, and we'll obviously update as we get close to the end of 24, but we've assisted in business funding of $1.7 billion. That's not million, that's billion. We've helped over 16,000 clients. We've assisted in sales and contract improvements of over $1 billion. And we've created just under 7,000 new jobs with the small businesses that we support. So getting connected with SBDC, it's not only directly what we do, but being able to create the connections with industry partners that you're going to be meeting today as well. So when we look at Small Business Development Center, what we really provide is a full range of support for businesses through training and advising and networking events that really help hit on every functional area of business. So that meaning marketing, operations, finance, any functional areas of business. We also support transactional events. So if you're looking at buying a business or selling a business, going through that process is very specific with whatever objective that you have there. So we help go through that. We also help businesses in different stages. So whether it's a new business or a business that's just starting, early stage business, mature business that's looking to continue to grow, we have tools and specific advising to help go through that. And then lastly, from an industry perspective, so whether it's technology, manufacturing, retail, we have advising and training services that really line up with that particular aspect of your small business. And so, as we say here, we really have a huge amount of services that really provide what you need when you need it, and to address your specific situation that you're in. So turning our attention to lending, and this is something that we're obviously getting towards the end of 2024, but it's been a somewhat of going against some headwinds with the lending environment. And this is a study that was conducted with small businesses. And so some of the highlights from that is that we've got tightening credit markets. So 77% of small business owners report concerns with just access to capital. The interest rates are starting to come down, but they've been historically high. That also creates some headwind when it comes to access to capital. Also, there's difficulty accessing affordable capital, and that obviously connects with the interest rates that we've seen. Also, there's been a incomplete funding, meaning that, as it says, only 40% of loan applicants received all the funding that they requested. So there's been some headwinds, but I think we're starting to see that it's getting a little bit easier. There's some things that are changing in the lending environment that is going to make it a little bit easier, and the expense for outside capital is going to be coming down as well as we start to see those rates slow down as well. So, and we'll get some good insights from the panel here that'll maybe give you some additional insights into what's happening currently in their particular world as well. But the reality is that lenders and everybody on the panel today, they're in business to lend money. They like to lend money, but it has to be right for you and your business. And that's a big thing that we really work on with SBDC, is evaluating how much capital do we need and how are we going to use it in a way that is going to be beneficial for your business. So lenders like to, that's what they're in business for, but it has to be right for your business. And so it's a big part that we really help is, again, identify how much money, how are we going to use it so that we can inject it into your business that's going to improve cash flow and obviously position you to pay back the loan, but also improve the profitability of your business. And so really lean on SBDC to help in that scenario and be better positioned when you look to access the lenders. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lucy Montgomery from the SBA office. And Lucy is a huge advocate for small business, and you probably have seen her because she is out and about and a regular attendee at anything that supports small business. So I'll turn it over to Lucy.
Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate that. I'm Lucy Montgomery from your district office, San Diego and Imperial Valley District Office. I want to tell you a little bit about what the SBA is, but first, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and just tell you that we are grateful at the Small Business Administration for you, the small businesses who support our community and keep our community going by employing your neighbors and increasing wealth for our area. So if you want to switch to the next slide, I'll tell you a little bit about what does SBA do. It helps start, grow, expand, and recover. What does that mean? Basically, what we do is defend and support small business, and we've been doing it for over 70 years. How do we do it? With what I like to call the three C's. The three C's are certifications, help with government contracting, uh, then counseling, and then the third one, capital, which we were going to talk about today. And I'm happy to share with you that we have an amazing group of lenders, which we're also thankful for in San Diego, because our lender community is, in my experience with SBA, the national, is bar none the best when it comes to relationship lending, learning, caring, and getting you to the right lender that can work for you in your business. Next slide, please. So, how can the SBA help you access capital? And surprisingly, we can help, and we are here for you. We're what I like to call the best government organization that starts with three letters, and so it's a good word for you. Next slide, please. So, SBA helps with SBA backed loans, private investors, research and development awarded funds. You might know those as SIBRs or SITRs, and surety bonds. We have a big surety bond program if you're in government contracting. But today we're going to talk about what is an SBA backed loan. Next slide, please. So it's the first important piece of information I need to share with you is that the SBA actually administers these programs, meaning you do not get a loan directly from the SBA. You get it from your lending partners, such as the individuals who are representing the lenders on the bank on the panel today. So you go to your lending partner and they give you the loan directly to the small business. Nowhere do you see in that flow the SBA. So you never have to come to my office. You never have to call up my, wait in line, pay to parking, or work at the speed of Fed. You will get to take advantage of these SBA programs directly through these lender partners. Next slide, please. So what can you use these loans for, and why do we do an SBA guarantee? So what it's called is an SBA guarantee. Maybe we work with these lenders to offer loans anywhere from $500 to $5.5 million. And we guarantee to the lender a certain percentage of the loan so that the lender will offer more competitive terms, lower down payments, flexible overhead, and counseling and education. And we do that so that the lender can spread its risk just a bit with us. And so they can offer loans that maybe they wouldn't do under their regular underwriting criteria. Next slide, please. So you can use this loan depending on the lender, but we don't have any restrictions for startup, for launch, grow, start or purchase, access revolving credit. We have a new program on that. You can purchase a business. You can purchase inventory, equipment, or machinery, and you can actually purchase your commercial property where you're occupied in that building. And we have a big program on exporting, which many people don't know. Next slide, please. So let me tell you a little bit about the names of our programs. We often have names for everything in the federal government, and these names are often based on the code section that the the code section that empowers this particular loan. For example, our 504 loan is based on Section 504, and this is where you can purchase commercial property. And just go ahead and pin that loan for the future, because what's happening with the 504 loan that's on the far left is that's where you can buy a commercial property for your business and create an asset that really creates generational wealth. And the interesting part about this loan is it only for the most part, requires 10% down from the small business. In the middle is our 7A loans. That's kind of our flagship loan. We have several different kinds, like community advantage loans, currently up to 350,000, going up to 500,000 soon. International trade loans, if you're looking to export. And on the far right, we have micro loans, which are loans up to $50,000, which have quite a bit easier requirements and under the underwriting. And we'll hear from a couple of these in each one of these categories to help you understand where you best fit. So in all of the spectrum, there's a lender for you. And at the very bottom, I have the dark storm cloud, which is disaster loans. And that is the only time the SBA directly lends, and that is in times of pandemic, unfortunately. But it's used to be for hurricanes, wildfires, etc. And that's when we loan directly when there is a declared disaster. So next slide, please. So we have a program at SBA where you can go online, describe your needs, and apply for the loan, and it matches you with the lender. But I'm going to have Sean switch that slide to the next slide because it's my experience in San Diego that we have such a wonderful lending community. For instance, you found this Meet the Lenders program, so now you're going to have in your I'm old school, so I'm going to call it your Rolodex and your Outlook accounts. You're going to have these lenders right within your reach to discuss what you need to do and whether they're the right lender. And all of them will say, if I'm not right for you, I'll refer you to someone who is. And you're going to find that's unique in San Diego and Imperial County. And you're going to find that that's it's almost like a loving environment, which is odd for a lending community, but that's what I found. And that everybody here wants to help you, wants to support you, and wants to lift you up. And they also want to move you on to the next biggest lender. The idea is that we have some alternative lenders and they want to grow you to getting lending from a regular bank. So lenders want you to make a smart choice when getting your loans, and how you would do that is like business plans, expense sheets, financial statements, and financial projections. But how do you do that if you're really, really good at making widgets, or you're really, really good at doing your design, or the product that you develop, but you may not have your MBA and you may not really understand how to present to a bank? That's where our resource partners come in. And luckily, we have the best in San Diego. I have referred many people to Sean and he's particularly good. I also have referred, I think I saw Joel on the call. I have referred to quite a number of SBDC experts, and they are in fact experts. So I just want to say that because they usually don't like toot their own horn, so to speak, but they are a regional center of excellence and they are professional and they are amazing. And we've seen your chances of getting a loan exponentially more successful if you use these resource partners kind of before you go to the bank. And I'm sure these lenders will tell you that they can tell when someone's been to an SBA resource partner and have helped them prepare a package and prepare what to say to increase their chance of securing loan. It just makes the process go faster and makes the chances better. Next slide, please. So we have if you're not from San Diego or Imperial, go ahead and take down sba.gov/local assistance, and you can put in your zip code and find one of our 1,400 partner offices nationwide. If you are in San Diego, next slide, please. Take a photo of this right here. These are the website addresses of our resource partners. We have our Veterans Business Outreach Center, SCORE Mentors, the Women's Business Center, and our SCORE Mentors is top 10 in the nation. Women's Business Center was a national center of excellence. And then, of course, sponsoring this program is our SBDC and these lender partners. And we can't say enough good things about the quality of our SBDC. So get online. It's very simple. Go ahead and click Find an Advisor or meet with one of those advisors. Next slide, please. And then I'm just going to add, this is just a bit of FYI for you. This is the Department of Treasury, not a requirement by SBA, but it has pretty stiff fines. So I really want to share the news about FinCEN, beneficial ownership reporting. If you don't know what this is, go ahead and ask your SBA, your SBDC mentor so that you can it just takes 5 minutes to register your beneficial ownership of your business. Please get that done before January 1st, 2025, or within 90 days of starting your business, so that you can be in compliant with the beneficial ownership information. This is a new requirement. So I just thought since I have the opportunity to share it with you, I would now, and I can put this information in the chat as well. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. In this time of gratitude, I want to thank the lenders. I want to thank Sean, particularly the SBDC, and also you small business owners. When we show gratitude, it comes back to us, and you should have gratitude as one of your tenets. And Thanksgiving reminds us of it. It's a very wonderful time. We're actually giving thanks and being grateful for those that help us. So I do have a challenge for you to think of at least 2 or 3 people or organizations that have helped you, and go ahead and give them an email of thanks or something today, a pat on the back. You'll find that goes a long way. You can follow us real time. If you go on our X page, you can see how you can nominate your own business for small businesses of the year. The applications are open, and you can follow us on our newsletter. Thank you so much for the time, Sean, and I look forward to hearing what the lenders say today. It's so exciting in the lending atmosphere. Thank you very much, and happy Thanksgiving.
All right. Thank you, Lucy. Awesome. We're gonna move into the meet the lenders, but I did want to take a second. Lucy mentioned my colleague Joel Cedeno. Joel, could you just say a couple words? I'll put you on the spot here real quick.
Well, of course. Hello, everybody. My name is Joel Cedeno. I'm a business financial analyst. Everything that I have learned is from my master Jedi, Sean. So if everything that I do is right, then I learn it on my own. If everything that I've done is wrong, is because of him. And all kidding aside, we're here to assist you with your business needs. Not all, and pretty much we can assist you from all aspects of the business, pre-venture, when you start the business, growth, and beyond. If you ever in doubt, have any questions before you go to the lenders, I strongly encourage you to come in and sit with us for about an hour. We can definitely make a difference in your business. So once again, thank you, Sean, for putting me on the spot. I appreciate it, but I'm always welcome to small businesses. And like Lucy said, happy Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you. And it's a pleasure working with Joel as a colleague. We often collaborate with clients, and between the two of us, we're pretty good shot that we've been there, done that between the two of us. So it's a pleasure to work with Joel. So, well, awesome. We're going to get into the lender panel now, and we'll start off with some introductions. I've got some placeholder slides to take us through that. So hopefully I've got everybody captured. But we, as Lucy mentioned, we've got an all-star panel here. So we're excited, and we'll get right into it. So we'll start off with Andrew, and just a little bit about your name, organization, and it kind of may be related to the season of gratitude, or is why do you do what you do? And we'll start off with Andrew.
Thank you very much, Sean, and thank you, SBDC, SBA. So I'm Andrew Crone. I'm Senior VP, Marble Bridge Funding Group, and now I have a slide, which is sort of cool. We are a commercial finance company based in the San Francisco Bay Area. We lend throughout the state of California. We've been around 27 years. We're on our second billion in funding, and I've been doing the underwriting and working with small business for 24 years, and working with SBDC throughout the state for 24 years as well. I do a lot of public speaking like this. I've had several SBDC events this week alone. And we are a lender, direct lender. We're bank finance, privately financed, and we work with companies, startups. So if you're a startup, you can talk to me, all the way up to 50 million a year in revenue. And we specialize in accounts receivable finance, purchase order finance, and contract finance. And so if you're a business doing business with another business or government entity, and you have to provide a product or service and you invoice that that company or government agency, and you have to wait 30, 60, 90 days to get paid, we help you with the cash flow to grow the business. And we can fund anybody up to 5 million a month. So we have plenty of capacity. I do what I do because I love what I do. I don't know how else to say it. I've been working with small business, hundreds of them, over my career. We funded, and I've been here almost from the beginning of this company. We've grown dramatically over the years, and we've done it in a good way. We built a reputation of trust. We educate our clients thoroughly. We do everything we can going beyond what a lender would normally do, which is just trying to get you into funding. We're actually helping our clients make connections. I'm what you call a center of influence. So if we have clients who are lacking something, missing something, obviously SBDC is at the top of our list because the consultants that you're hearing on the call today and consultants throughout the state of California, I work with a lot of them. They're there to help you and provide free services, underlining free. I provide free services as well because I'm usually the first line when I get introduced to these clients to figure out what they're doing right or wrong, and I'm helping them get stronger with the ultimate goal to graduate from us and get back to bank financing. So, I give thanks for our clients, and our clients are greatly appreciative. We signed a client yesterday, and think about this when you visit your normal bank. After you're done signing, everybody hugged each other. And so that's pretty special. That's something that goes way beyond traditional lending. You will never see that usually at a bank. But in our world, we develop very close relationships with our clients. We love our clients. We're here to help them succeed.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. All right, Fernando.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you. Very similar space to Andrew. We are based here in San Diego, primary funding. We've been in San Diego for about 28 years now. We're an asset-based lender. We provide factoring services, purchase order financing, and some asset-based lines of credit. I think the reason I do what I do, I worked for a big bank for about 11 years, and I have nothing negative to say. Big banks are great. They do a lot. They have great products and services, and great technology, but they're not for everybody, right? I mean, they have a very specific customer base that they target, and unfortunately, that leaves a lot of small businesses out. And that's really why I decided to leave the bank when I did about 7 years ago, was because I wanted to help, the large percentage of clients that I was unable to help at the bank, just because they, maybe weren't the right fit at the time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. DeWitt.
Thanks, Sean. Hey, everyone. I'm DeWitt. I'm a senior vice president and the commercial banking manager at Pacific Premier in San Diego. I manage our commercial banking division and a great team of bankers. We're about a $19 billion commercial bank headquartered in Irvine, branches from San Diego up to Seattle, and a few out in Arizona and Las Vegas. What we do, we specialize in commercial banking, so that covers everything from small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large businesses, all typically privately owned. Lending with us starts as small as $25,000 and can go all the way to north of $100 million. Kind of scenarios for lending could be financing equipment, buying a business, buying real estate, doing partner buy-ins, partner buyouts, lines of credit for working capital, and construction. Why do we do what we do? We have a lot of respect for business owners. To me, business owners have so much courage and determination to build something from the ground up, maybe walk away from a comfortable job and forge a path on their own. And we're here to really support them in anything that we can to help. And yep, that's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Luis.
Sure, thank you. I'm Luis Gutierrez Prieto. I work with Founders First Capital. I'm the business development there. We are alternative lenders. What does that mean is we difference to the bank, we don't look too much in the past sales, or we don't take too much attention in the scoring that you might have as a founder. We don't ask for collateral either. And versus VC, we don't take equity on your business. We have this product that is called revenue-based financing. And what it is we invest in your business from $100,000 to a couple $1,000,000. And the way that you repay that is with a percentage of your monthly revenue that never is going to be higher than 9%. And the terms could be from 3 to 5 years. So a difference from a regular bank, I'm a banker as well, is that we looking for a way to take more risk. So therefore, it's more opportunity for you guys to invest, to get the funds that you need. And what we're looking for, founder first, is to even the field to get capital for working business, or for growing business, I should say. We believe that it's not even, and that's what we're trying. We're mission-driven company, and that's who we are.
All right, thank you. And Juliet with Accessity.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Juliet with Accessity. I've been here for 6.5 years. Accessity is a CDFI, which is a community development financial institution. Fancy way of saying we're not a bank. We're an alternative to the bank. We help a lot of startup businesses, so pre-revenue and existing businesses, and our loans go up to $100,000. They are term loans, meaning you get all the money at once and then you pay it back monthly. And our organization exists in order to help those businesses that we've heard about who can't walk into a bank and get a traditional loan. And that can be time in business. It could be lower FICO score. We're a mission-based lender. And so we help businesses that are minority-owned, veteran-owned, women-owned. And so we really want to provide that access to capital for a lot of businesses that don't fall in the traditional form. So I do what I do. I have worked here for 6.5 years. I absolutely love it. I used to live in southern Mexico. I went down there to learn Spanish in Oaxaca, and I fell in love with micro lending down there, and really just seeing the impact that providing a loan to an artisan. We lent to women artisans in the little towns outside of the city, and just seeing the impact that had on the community and on their families was something I really wanted to continue when I moved to San Diego. So I'm just really grateful to be doing this work, and please reach out to me and let me know how I can help your small business.
All right, thank you. So as I mentioned, impressive panel that we've got. I think there's a couple takeaways that you probably noticed, that all of them have a passion for helping small business. They're doing what they do because they've got a strong feeling of supporting small business. The other thing I wanted to point out is and I'm guessing here but there's probably over 100 years of collective experience between the panel of helping small business with capital or small business in general. And the other thing that's surprising is nobody is over 30 years old. So they've done that with all that experience. So it's amazing. All right. So we're gonna move on to some of the questions that we're gonna have the lenders share, and some of them have started to provide a little bit of this, but I also wanted to point out that we'll have some time at the end. So if you've got questions as we go through these areas, write those down. We'll have some dedicated time to go through some of the questions there. So the first area that we're going to focus on is have the panel share a little bit more about what kind of lending options they provide, what's the general criteria just from a high level, and then what stage of business is ideal for your particular organization or products that you've got. So we'll just go down the same order that we did. So we'll start off with Andrew.
Okay, so Marble Bridge Funding Group, the type of lending we do, we provide accounts receivable, purchase order, and contract finance. So as I mentioned earlier, if you're a business doing business in another business, a government entity, and you invoice that business and you have to wait 30, 60, 90 days to get paid, that's where your profit is. And a lot of times when you grow your business rapidly, that becomes a problem because if the money doesn't come in, how do you hire more people? How do you make your payroll? How do you pay suppliers? How do you take on larger contracts? So we allow you to leverage that. I have a line that I say, if you can invoice weekly, I can make almost anyone a millionaire because you'll always have the cash flow. Typical advance rates are 80%. And then when the invoice pays, we take a small fee off the top and the rest of it goes back to you. Then you have no debt when you're done and you can fund when you want, as much as you want to fund. So this type of lending we do in a simple nutshell. Criteria, I've been doing the underwriting for 24 years. So if you talk to me in a phone call, we usually can figure out 98% of the people I talk to, we can figure it out in the first phone call and within a 30-minute call, whether we can help you or not. And then if we do figure it out that this looks like a potential fit for both of us, we will gather the documents, which a lot of the lenders would ask for the same thing. We will ask for financials. They don't have to be perfect. A lot of times I help my clients write their financials and get them stronger. Ask for financials, tax returns, articles of incorporation, maybe sample copies of your contracts or POs. So we get into your business. You're going to teach us your business like we're a consultant. We want to understand it completely, figure out how it's working, and you want to be growing. So in our industry, growth is essential. When we fund clients that they're shrinking, we're probably not the best fit. I definitely didn't want to get you consultants, SBDC, various people to figure out why the business is having problems. But if you had that downfall, which a lot of businesses did during COVID, and some are starting to turn it around, that's what I look for. A turnaround is fine. And we will ask for all that type of documentation. And if we both say go, after getting that and reviewing that on the second call and spending time, how we will operate with you 100% up front, so you'll know how everything works. Then the final part of it is we gather your application and your app fee, and we push it forward. And usually within 10 days or less, we'll have you done, ready to sign, and then ready for first funding. What stage of business is ideal for your options? I work with everybody. So when I say startups, everyone has a definition, a different definition. My definition of a startup, and I signed one, and we'll use this woman-owned business as an example. A startup means that within maybe 60 days, 90 days, they are going to have revenue. So they're not 5 months out. They're not a year out. I can talk to them a year out, and then they come back to us. This account did 60 days out, and they had the contract, everything in play. We already knew the projections. We knew why it would work, and we brought them in. So I could work with startups. I could work with companies that have had past bankruptcies. I can work with companies that the credit score may not be that strong. They even may have some tax lien issues or judgments or things of that nature. And I also work with partners that are on this panel, CDFIs, and various other lenders if I have to go even deeper than I can provide to solve the problem. So I have a lot of partners I work with as well. So when you're talking to me, you're going to get a lot of information, my 24 years, and you're going to hear a lot of stuff that you may not hear from one individual, but I will tell you the gamut of the different types of lending and what may fit you, especially if we're not the right deal. If we are, we can get very creative to bring you in. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. Fernando.
Yeah, so the type of lending we're going to do, we are an asset-based lender. So we're going to finance the assets we like to finance are either first your accounts receivables, if you have purchase orders. We will also take collateral like inventory in some cases or real estate. So that's kind of the pecking order of what we're going to look at from an asset standpoint of what we would like to leverage. As far as the criteria, it's really based on the asset. So if we're financing receivables or purchase orders, we're focused on who you're selling to, be it a government entity, a large corporation. Where we could run into some issues there is if you're selling to a lot of mom and pop, independently owned shops, things like that. That could be very difficult for us. But if you're selling to more established businesses, probably a path forward there. So as far as stage of business, we can work with a startup. We work with new companies, established businesses, companies that are in a growth phase, even companies that have maybe gone through some bumps and maybe shrunk a little, and now they're reorganizing and kind of get things going again. So as far as stage of business goes, really, if it's invoice financing, it doesn't really matter as long as who you're selling to is somebody that we can approve. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. DeWitt.
Thanks, Sean. So we're a cash flow based lender, which means really we're looking at profitability and kind of determining how much lending you can handle based on what your cash flow is. Loans with us start as little as 25,000 up to 100 million. One credit product that we have, it's kind of an introductory line of credit or term loan for a business that's been around for 3 years or longer. It goes from 25,000 to 150,000. It's very easy to qualify. To underwrite it, we only look at the most recent business tax return, year-to-date financials, and a couple bank statements. And that, again, it can be for a term loan, that could be a line of credit. It's a great kind of introductory credit product for a business that's never had a line of credit or never borrowed money from a bank before. And then everything that we do that's above 150,000 is fully underwritten, which means we typically collect 3 years of taxes, 3 years of financials, personal financials, and kind of the options or scenarios that those loans could cover. It's a wide range, so it could be buying equipment, it could be a line of credit for working capital, it could be a term loan for growth to open a new location, it could be buying a building for the business, partner buy-ins, partner buyouts. As far as the stage of business that's ideal for us, we have loan products that kind of cover the full spectrum from kind of 3 years in business. So if you have been around for 3 years and you're kind of hitting that growth stage where you realize you need a line of credit, we've got something for you. If you're kind of a more mature business that's maybe been around 5 to 10 years and now you're really ready to scale things and get some much larger lines of credit like 500,000 to 5 million, we could do that as well. And of course, mature businesses, those are great. Also, a couple recent wins from our team. Recently, we did a 4 million line of credit for a law firm that wants to expand and hire more people and kind of start making more money. 4 million line of credit to a hotel investor that wants to open additional locations. We just started working on a 5.9 million construction loan to help build a factory for a company that wants to stop importing products from overseas and start manufacturing everything locally. 4.5 million equipment financing, 3 million on a line of credit to a contractor to help him grow and take on more jobs. And then on the smaller side, we did a 50,000 line for a marketing firm. That firm had never had a line of credit. They're kind of hitting that growth stage where they realize they need a line of credit if they're going to continue growing at the rate that they are. And lastly, we just did a 500K drawdown equipment line of credit for a contractor. And a drawdown line, that's kind of a hybrid between a line of credit and a term loan. It's usually a loan that starts off interest only for maybe 12 months. And at the end of the 12 months, it typically converts to a 3, 5, or 7-year term loan. Thanks, Sean.
Okay, thanks, DeWitt. Let's see, Luis.
Yes, the kind of loan that we do is most popular for us is the revenue-based financing. This, like I said, is a percentage of your monthly revenue that is going to make you payment. But also we have plain and simple term loan, and we have a third one that is a combination of a term loan with a revenue-based financing. It's depending of the stronger your revenue and some other consideration that the investment committee will make that decision. And the criteria that we like to invest in businesses, we like to be in the technological industries, software, platforms, service as a business or business as a service. We like to be also in consulting. Because our main product is revenue based, we like to the percentage, the revenue percentage from the business be over 20 or 25%. So that we're looking for that too. We don't do any business to consumer. We only concentrate in business to business or business to government. And we're looking for business that has been in operation for more than 24 months and with the revenue over $500,000 in the last 12 months. If your business is not profitable, we don't care. If you are in those parameters, you will be in a good shape for sit down and talk. And the stage of the business ideal for us is, like I say, is, you know, with 24 months of operation, that will be a good thing, good stage for us. Even if your business is growing fast, so you just get a huge contract with the government or with a huge company, and you don't have the 24 months, it's okay. You know, if you close, we can sit down, we can talk about it. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. And Julia.
Yeah, as we provide term loans up to $100,000. I did do a loan recently, a couple months ago, for 120,000. So there is the ability to go a little bit over 100. But we work with, like I said, startup and existing businesses. Startups for us are pre-revenue or businesses that have been generating revenue for less than 6 months. And so about 40% of our lending goes towards startup businesses. If you are a startup business with no revenue yet, we do require that you have another source of income. So that is going to be one of the criteria for our lending options, is to make sure that you can afford to pay the loan back. Ideally, the business is going to take over those payments, but at least for the first couple months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, depending on your industry, you are going to be personally guaranteeing the loan and saying that you can make the loan payments if the business is not yet profitable. So I always like to say, once you can get past our credit check, which is actually a soft pull to your credit, and we don't have a minimum FICO score, but once you can get past that, it's really just making sure that you can afford to make the loan payments and afford the money that you're requesting. Something that stuck out to me earlier, Sean, in the slides, is saying 40% of businesses receive the amount of money that they've requested from lenders, which means the other 60 don't, right? And that what we see a lot of the times is people are asking for a lot of money, but they can't afford to pay it, right? So that's really, I would say, you know, your cash flow, making sure that you're being realistic with your numbers, working with SBDC to make sure those numbers aren't inflated, and really just making sure we can get your business either started or grow to the next level is what our organization strives to do. And yeah, like I said, we can work with pure startup businesses, pre-revenue, but also existing businesses that are looking to grow that still don't fit within any of our other partner needs. If you come to me and need a line of credit, or you know, if you need any sort of factoring services, then we have our buddies here on the call that we can connect you with. So we're always going to try to make sure you get the right kind of lending for your business. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to the next topic, talking a little bit about the application process of what's the best way to apply, how do I get started, what kind of documentation, how long does it take to complete, and the best tip for the application. We'll just do a couple lenders here. Maybe Andrew, if you could start.
Okay, I covered a little bit earlier, but what is the best way to apply? You call me in the chat here. I have my email and my direct line. So give me a call and I'll be glad to go over it with you, because just in that call alone, we should be able to figure out whether this is a fit or not. So that's really quick to determine whether I'm the best player or someone else on this panel that I could refer you to if it's not me. And maybe a combination of us, you don't know. What is required? So if we both want to go forward, as I mentioned, we have a one-page application, takes about 5 minutes to fill out. We ask for financials, P&L and balance sheet, AR, accounts receivable, accounts payable, summary agent report, last couple of years tax returns, last 6 months bank statements as an example, so you can see how your cash is flowing in and out, and a couple of other documents. And you can send that to me all at once, or you can send it in piecemeal, whatever works. And I get all that. I get you on the phone. We walk through everything to make sure we're double checking everything we discussed in our initial call, explain to you how we will work with that and how our program will work with detail. And at that point, if you say go, then like I said, I have the application, send in the very small application fee, and then we start underwriting at that stage. And like I said, if you're next in line or ready to roll, we will have it done in usually 10 working days or less. And you'll come up, meet our company, sign you up, and we can prepare for first funding right after signing. Best tip, I would just say, be honest. You know, when we ask these questions, you know, anything in the background we need to know, anything that, you know, something that we're going to find, because we all do background checks and we do credit score, or we'll look for your credit, most of us. And so anything up front, let us know, and we can tell you right away whether that's an issue or not an issue. So that's my best tip.
Okay, awesome. And one of the things that a lot of the people on the panel have already mentioned that I think is a huge benefit of whether when you're working with SBDC or directing or contacting the lenders directly, they're very open to having an initial phone discussion, and I think all of them would say that instead of you fill out some application, it disappears and you don't know what's going on, it's behind the scenes, that all the lenders are really prefer to be engaging, have discussion, do some scenarios, and figure out the best option. And the other thing that they all do, and several of them have mentioned, is they all work together. If there's not a good fit, these are not competitors specifically, but they're all. I think somebody even used the term partners, and I think that really represents the lenders and the panel that we have here, that they all really work together here. Maybe to get a little bit different perspective, Julia, maybe you can talk a little bit about accessity and on this topic.
Yeah, thank you. I will reiterate, call me first before you apply. We do a 10-minute conversation, tell you about our program, our pricing, also learn about your program, because that's usually when I can tell you, hey, you need to call Fernando, or you need to call Andrew, or you know, we can't help with your lending needs. So phone call, first step. Required documentation. We have two different loan sizes, one up to 25,000 and one over 25,000 to 100,000. Under 25,000's basic documentation is going to be bank statements and taxes. Over 25,000 is going to look more at your financials. So your financials if you're already in business, or a business plan with 1-year financial projections if you are a startup, as well as a balance sheet, whether that's a startup balance sheet or a balance sheet for an existing business. So I always tell people, smaller loans, less documents, larger loans, more documents. And so it's just a more complete package. It takes a little bit longer. I would say our total process from start to finish is about 30 days. So it's not crazy long. But the $25,000 loans, we can do those in, 2 weeks. This is after you get us your documents, of course. So, if you apply and then you take 2 weeks to get us your documents, then you can expect that to extend your time frame. A few end of the year details, if you guys are looking for funding before the end of the year. Loans under 25,000, we do need to receive your application now and get your documents before next Friday. So that is 1 week for loans under 25. Loans over 25 to 100,000, the documentation deadline is December 6th. So just keep those dates in mind if you are looking for funding this year. That's how we can guarantee to get you through the process. The holidays are creeping up on us very quickly, so we just want to make sure we're very honest and upfront with you guys about time frame. And then best tip for your application, I would say if you're a startup business, don't quit your job. That is something I see often. Lisa's laughing. It happens. And so people quit their job and they say, I want to focus all in on my business and now I'm living off my savings. Well, we can't use that as a lender because your savings is going to run out. So just don't quit your job if you are starting your business. If you are an existing business, I would reiterate what Andrew said about being honest. Making sure that you're telling us up front any challenges that you may foresee, because we are going to find out eventually. So we have a full underwriting team. We go through the process. to make sure that we are double checking what you are submitting and what you are telling us. So just be honest. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So we'll do a little bit of a speed round because I want to leave a couple minutes for questions here. We'll focus on some of the top tips for small businesses to really make sure that they get the right funding, and then also how can partnering with organizations like SBDC aid in the process. And we'll just have a couple. Fernando, maybe you could share your perspective on those two areas.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as far as avoiding predatory lenders, I think it's really simple. Just, you use the resources that you have, right? The SBDC is never going to steer you in the wrong direction. You can go to the SBA website and see who, authorized SBA lenders are, things like that. I mean, if you're going online and Googling, business loan, that's all SEO driven. Whoever pays the most money is going to go to the top of the list, right? So you got to be really careful there. As far as partnering with organizations, I mean, I can tell you firsthand how great it's been partnering with the SBDC. Joel, in particular, I've worked with. I send him clients regularly who need help with projections, who need help with putting things together to help us, even just submit a loan package, right? Get to that point. And I mean, these are all free services. They spend a lot of time and put a lot of work into these projections and helping you put your financials together. So accounting is expensive. If you went to a CPA or an accountant and had them do that for you, it'd cost you a ton of money. So take advantage of the free services, work with the SBDC and partners that they work with.
Okay, awesome. And Luis, any additional comments from you as well on this?
Yeah, I always tell the customers or the prospect that be very careful with cash advance products. Those can be very expensive products, and those could kill you cash flow, which is the most important part of a business. And I understand that sometimes, there is emergency, you have to make payroll. And so if you're very disciplined in your administration, you will be okay not using those products. And that will be the best advice.
Okay, thank you. And the last one, and then I know we've got a couple questions, but DeWitt talked a little bit about some of the activity that his organization has had. But DeWitt, maybe you could just highlight again some of the recent transactions, maybe a couple key ones that have really played an important part in helping a small business.
Sure. So let's see, specifically for small businesses, one would be a 50,000 line of credit that we helped a marketing firm set up. And I think the marketing firm had been around for about 5 years. They were with a bigger bank. They asked the bigger bank about getting a line of credit, and the other bank told them that they weren't qualified. We looked at their financials. We had them apply for what we call internally a quick score line of credit. And about 30 days later, we were able to approve it, move all of their banking over. And now that line of credit kind of helps the business to hire potentially 2 more people that are going to be on the sales side or business development side. One that I'm really, really pleased with, it's a little bit of a larger one, so I don't know if it qualifies as a small business loan. But to a single borrower, we have started to provide close to $14 million in financing, which includes about $6 million to help this company buy a building, about $5 million to help the company purchase equipment and finance equipment to install in the building, and a $3 million line of credit to help them manage working capital for this new division that they're establishing. So doing stuff like that, it's the kind of thing where you really have to know a banker that's going to take the time to understand your business, understand the opportunity, understand the growth prospects of what you're trying to do, to put something together like that. And I guess the one thing that I would just highlight as well is that everyone on this panel, we're all relationship driven. So in other words, when you apply online or do anything like that, they don't care who you are, they don't know you, and you don't know them. So you really have no idea who you're sending all of your personal info to, versus everyone on this panel, we're all relationship driven. We want to get to know you, get to know your business. And in doing those things, it typically comes out to be a better outcome, not only for us, but also for the business and the business owner.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I know we're getting close to the end there, so I wanted to open up. I see there was a couple questions in the chat, but any questions that you have for the panel as they've gone through the topics today, go ahead and ask away if you've got any questions. And while we're waiting for that, if I want to thank the lending panel. If there's anything that you wanted to share from an open perspective, feel free to share that while we're waiting for any questions. All right. I think we've said it all. So again, I want to thank the lending panel. Appreciate their time. I appreciate small business owners coming together. Lucy from the SBA office, and thank you for your time. Hopefully, you've got a lot of good information of next steps for you. And lastly, I want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving and eat a ton of food and relax and do nothing. That's the holiday to do nothing. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.